Dear students, welcome to this lecture. Today's lecture topic is file replication. So, what the term replication means? It means the duplication of data, or you can think it as a reproducing the same data or the exact copy of data is nothing but the replication. Duplicate data will be there. So, to achieve one of the important feature in distributed file system is the availability. Means whenever we want to access any file from any node, that file should be available. So this availability feature is supported with the help of file replication. When there is a duplicated data on different nodes, there is a chance of high availability of that resource. So a replicated file is nothing but it is a file that has multiple copies, and each copy is located on a separate file server. Okay, to download any file we will have multiple site links, means the same file is maintained on different servers, so that the availability of that particular file is available in multiple servers, and you can get that file from any one of the server. Like that, the duplicated data will be maintained on separate file servers. So each copy of that set of copies will comprises of this replicated file, and this is referred to as the replica of that replicated file. Replica is nothing but the exact copy. So this is the definition of file replication, and it is very important mechanism followed in order to achieve the availability feature in distributed file system. Now, what are the differences between the replication and caching? So, there are some differences between these two, because they will both dealing with these terms, both dealing with the multiple copies of data. In caching also we have seen in our earlier lecture about maintaining multiple copies locally in cache mode. Like that, these replication and caching will maintain, and they will deal with the multiple copies of data. So let us find what are the differences between those two. Always a replica means the duplicated file is associated with a server, right? It is maintained on a file server. But if you have observed, a cached copy is normally associated with client itself. It will be the cache location will be on client. So one difference is replica is always associated with server, and cached copy is associated with client. And the second difference is the existence of cached copy is dependent on the locality in file access patterns. So, but here when the existence of replica, it depends upon the availability and performance requirements. As it is in the local, this availability and access patterns are maximized, and it normally depends upon the availability of that particular file server and performance requirements. So as compared to cached copy, replica is more persistent. Means it can exist and it is widely known, it's secure, always available, complete and accurate. Means the information maintained in the replica is accurate. Next, a cached copy is contingent upon a replica. Only periodic revalidation with respect to replica can a cached copy be useful. Means we have seen the validation of cache, means periodic validation of that cache and it is as per the master copy or not. We have to check from client initiated and server initiated methods, and this cached copy is subject to change, right? When the replica is changed, and this cached copy might also change. Okay, contingent means it may subject to change. So a cached copy is subject to change depending upon a replica. Okay, that is the another difference. Next, the advantages of replication means what is the need of that replication or duplication of data, and what are the advantages we will get if we replicate the data, and what are the benefits. Means there is an increase in the availability. Okay, when there is more than one copy, always the availability of that particular file is high. Like that, when we are having multiple copies of the data, there is an increased availability, and any network failures also it can tolerate. Okay, so by replicating some critical data on servers, it is independent of failures. We can also use the alternate data, which is the replicated copy we can use when the primary copy is unavailable. So always there will be an increased availability when we are using the replication mechanism. Even the primary copy is down due to some issues, we can get that same copy, that replica, from another file server. Okay, and the second advantage is increased reliability. Always this replication is an advantageous mechanism because it allows the existence of multiple copies of files. Any permanent loss of the storage device, in such a case also the presence of this redundant information able to give you a high reliability. Okay, so most applications require this reliability feature, and all those reliability of the data stored in the form of files will be increased with the help of this replication. Okay, so we can depend upon the exactness of that file using this replication. And the next one is improved response time. Means this mechanism of replication will help to improve the response time. Why? Because it enables data to be accessed either locally, or we can get its access time in lower than the primary copy access time. when we want to get it from the actual server which is holding the primary copy, it may take much time compared to the local copy, right? So it improves the response time, and there is an reduced network traffic, means as the file replica is available with the file server which resides on the client node itself, so the client requests that service locally, so obviously it will reduce the network traffic. Why? Because it is not asking the file server via messages, it requests the service locally, so it improves the network, it reduces the network traffic. And the another advantage is improved system throughput. This enables several clients and they request access to the same file to be serviced in parallel. They can be accessed. Suppose anybody want to download some movie parallelly, number of clients may request for downloading that particular file. In such a case also they can service it via this replication feature, means they will maintain that file on different servers. So it always improves the throughput. And next is better scalability. With the number of users, increase in number of users, that shared file necessity also increases. So all access requests for that particular file will be serviced. If there is a single file server, then it may result in poor performance when there is a scalability. So by replicating the copies of that file on multiple servers, even we can serve more in a better manner, and the workload distribution also uh, is shared between multiple servers. So it results in better scalability. And the next one is autonomous operation. So in a distributed system, file replication provides services to the clients. All files required by client for operation during this limited amount of time may be replicated on the file server, and this will give the access of temporary autonomous operation, means they can access or they can service their own requests, and it is an autonomous operation performed by the client. They can perform by themselves. So this feature can support portable machines also. So all these are the advantages of replication. The next topic is replication transparency. So in this, one of the important issue in file replication is transparency. So a replicated file must function exactly as a non-replicated file service. Means it should be exact as a original copy or the primary copy. It should Transparency should be maintained such that the client will think that he is accessing the exact copy and that is the primary file itself. Like that, improved uh, this improves, means transparency will improve the performance and reliability. So replication transparency means how to maintain transparency in replication. Means I hope you understood this point. Transparency means the client should not differ whether it is a replicated copy file or a non-replicated copy file. Should not identify that difference is nothing but the transparency. So two important issues related to this transparency, replication transparency are naming of replicas and replication control. So these two are the issues need to be handled in order to provide the replication transparency. The first one is naming of replicas. In naming of replicas, there is a question that an object should be assigned with the same identifier or different identifiers. Means there is a one file. If file F1 is replicated, whether to use the same identifier for that file F1 or to use another identifier for a replicated file. This is the naming of replicas question. So when there are immutable objects, means immutable files or objects where we cannot do any changes to that file, in such a cases we will use the assignment of single identifier to all the replicas of an object. Why? Because we cannot make any changes to that file. So if we maintain even the same identifier for all the duplicated files also, there is no problem. So if it is for a mutable files or mutable objects, we can assign in the case of this mutable objects, we can assign different identifier. Okay. So in immutable, all the copies are immutable and they are identical. Why? Because there will be only one logical object with the given identifier. Okay. For immutable objects, we will assign a unique identifier which is given to all the replicas, and the same identifier will be maintained with the original copy also. But in mutable objects, different copies of a replica object may exist and it may not be seen. So it may be different to the exact copy maintained on the file server. So in some cases, same identifier is used for all the replicas of the object. In such a case, the kernel cannot decide which one is the most updated one. Why? Because we can make changes to that file, and if we are maintaining the same identifier for all the replicas, the operating system cannot decide which one is the latest one, like that. So it is the responsibility of that naming system to take care, and in order to maintain the user supplied identifier to particular replica. And if all the replicas are consistent, and some mapping must be provided in order to locate all the replicas, so need care should be taken while naming the replicas in both immutable and mutable files. So the naming in case of mutable files will be maintained, or it will be performed outside the kernel. It will not be performed on kernel side. And the next one is replication control. So this issue, means this transparency issue is providing replication control. What is replication control? It means it includes the number and location of replicas of one replicated file. Means how many number of replica copies can be existed. That is nothing but replication control. And in a replication transparent system, the replication control is handled entirely automatically. So it is in a user transparent manner. Means autonomous operations, where autonomous operation is allowed. In such a case, means the client can create any number of replicas as per his wish. In such a case, uh, there are there should be some replication control, and the user transparency should be maintained. So generally, if a user normally works on 2 or 3 different nodes at different times, so he will automatically wish to replicate that file. Why? Because he is working on different nodes, and he wish to have that file on the server itself. So in such a case, the replication control can be of 2 types. These are explicit replication and implicit or lazy replication. To control the replication, there are 2 types. So explicit replication, in this the user are given the flexibility to control the entire replication process. Means when a process creates a file, it specifies the server on which the file should be placed. Okay. So if desired, means if a user desires to create any further additional copies of that file, they can create on other servers on explicit request by the user. Means user should explicitly, means when we say, then only it will happen. That is explicit. So users have the flexibility to delete one or more replicas of a replicated file, but if any additional copies of the file can be created on another servers depending on explicit request of the user itself. And the next control is implicit or lazy control. So in this type, the entire replication process is automatic. Implicit is within the operation is performing without saying, then it is nothing but implicit. And it is controlled by the system without the knowledge of the user. There is no user involvement here. And means when a process creates any file, it does not provide any information about its location from where it is accessing, like that. It does not provide any location information. The system will automatically select one server for the placement of the file. So lazy replication or this implicit replication is normally performed in the background always by the server when it is having some free time. So replication transparency is of these 2 types. Naming of replicas, whether to give the same identifier for the replicas or not in both mutable and immutable files. And replication control means this includes the, or it determines the number of replicas and its location of a replicated file. These are 2 types: explicit replication and implicit replication. Here it should be specified by the user, and in implicit it will be done automatically by the system. And the next topic is multi-copy update problem. Means what is meant by this problem means, so when the file system is allowing multiple copies of the same file to exist, means multiple copies are existing in a file system on different servers. So there will be a chance and a problem of keeping them consistent. Means all those files should be consistent in manner. Means when we take any copy of data, it should be exact with the other copy. Like that, they should be mutually consistent. So a situation must not be allowed in such a way that they are independent of each other. Means different copies have different data, means they are not consistent. So maintaining consistency among the copies when a replicated file is updated is the major problem. So some commonly used approaches to handle this issue is, so nothing but when we have multiple copies, all the copies should be mutually consistent. That is the problem, and we can handle the problem via these approaches. The first one is read-only replication. Means this approach is very much applicable and it allows the replication of only immutable files, because in this approach it is we have only read only mode, right? We cannot do any changes to immutable files, so there will be only read only mode. And in this approach, this multi-copy update problem does not arise, and files known to be frequently read and modified only once in a while in mutable approaches. So any files which are having some uh, modifications once in several months, such a files containing the object code can be treated as immutable and immutable for replication using this approach. Means using this approach we cannot do any changes to that particular file and we can think it as for a immutable files. There will be only a read only mode. And the next approach is read any write all protocol. Means in this the read only replication approach is too restrictive. Means it allows the replication of only immutable files. So we require the replication of mutable files also, right? So this simple multi-copy update protocol allows the replication of mutable files in the manner that read any write all protocol. What happens in this method means a read operation on a replicated file is performed by reading by any copy of the file, and a write operation will be done, means by writing all copies of the file. Read one and write operation will be performed to all copies of the file by using this protocol. Means before updating any copy, all copies should be locked, then the remaining copies will also be updated, and finally the locks are released after completion of the writing. Okay, so read any one copy and write to all the existing replicas. So the protocol is suitable for implementing Unix-like semantics where the updations are immediately visible to other users also. I hope you got this. Read any, write all protocol. Read one copy, any one copy, and write to all remaining replicas. And the next one is available copies protocol. So one of the problem existing with this read any write all protocol is that the write operation cannot be performed if any of the servers having the copy of that replicated file when the server is down. Means when we are trying to write uh, using this write all protocol, and when one server is down, means it is not working or it is somewhat slow or it is in failure. In such a case, we cannot write on that replica which is maintaining on that server. So obviously we cannot perform that operation on that file. So this available copies protocol avoids this restriction, and it allows write operations to be carried out even when some of the servers having a copy of that replicated file are down. Means when servers are down, in such a case also we can perform the write operation. What happens means a read operation in this method, the read operation is performed by reading any available copy, and write operation is performed by writing to all the available copies. Means it ensures the correct functioning of this protocol is when a server recovers after a failure, it gives the update copy from other servers, and before accepting any client request to that particular file, it updates from another server. So they will be dynamically update themselves by getting the copy from another server. Okay. And the next is primary copy protocol. One of the simple method to solve the multi-copy update problem is via primary copy protocol. So in this protocol, for each replicated file, one copy is designated as the primary copy, means actual copy, and all others are secondary copies. So reading can be performed by using copy primary or secondary, but all the write operations are directly performed only on the primary copy. Okay. So each server having these secondary copies, means the duplicated copies, it updates its copy either by receiving the notification changes from the server which is having the primary copy, or it requests the update copy from it. Okay, so that is nothing but primary copy, in which we will maintain one copy as a primary copy and all the other copies as the secondary copies, and out of that reading operations can be performed from any copy, that is primary or secondary, but only writing operations will be performed only on primary copy, such that all the remaining copies can make changes or they can update via the notification from the server to update from primary copy. And the next mechanism is quorum based protocols. So whatever the protocols we have seen earlier, even the read any write all protocol or the available copies protocol, they cannot handle the network partition problem, in which there will be more groups, active groups in a network. So replicated copies or any replicated file is partitioned into two networks. In such a cases, these two protocols cannot handle that problem. And moreover, these two protocols have some restriction that this primary copy protocol is doing changes or writing on a primary copy. When that server is down, then it cannot write uh, to the primary copy. So another problem with this protocol. So another method is means to update the multi-copy problem is quorum based protocol. What we will do in this means, suppose if we think that there are multiple n copies, so here the protocol is given with an example. We will see that n copies of a replicated file f is there. Okay, and to read a file, we will maintain a read quorum, and it will have minimum r number of copies in read quorum. Say for example, file f is maintaining, so r is the minimum number of copy to read a file, and it is called as read quorum. Similarly, there will be a write quorum with w copies for performing or writing operation, write operation. Okay, so there is some restriction on the choice of these r and w values. Means the sum of these two must be greater than the total number of copies n. In such a case, we can write r plus w, read and write, should be greater than the existing n copies. So this restriction will guarantee that non-null restriction in intersection between these read and write quorum. So there is at least one copy of the file between every pair of read and write operations. We can ensure that it via this restriction. And if we see this one, if a copy with the largest version number of quorum is correct, and this is the read process, and it is executes as follows. This one, we retrieve a read quorum of f, means any copy in read quorum. How many copies are there? R number of copies are there. We can take any read quorum, and of the R copies retrieved, select the copy with the largest version number. So if we are having the largest version number, we can think of that as a most updated version. And after that, we can perform the read operation on the selected copy. So read from that particular copy. Okay, out of the set of R copies, get that R copies and select the largest version number and read the operation of that selected copy. Similarly, how the write will execute means, retrieve a write quorum, means we have W number of copies, and out of that any W copies of F can be retrieved, and out of that W copies we will get the version number of the copy with the largest version number itself. Next, as we are writing now, we will increment the version number so that anyone by seeing that it is the updated version, they can know. And the fourth step is write the new value, and this new version number uh, to all the W copies will be maintained, and it is written to the write quorum. So here we have read quorums and write quorums. These two are write quorums and these two are read quorums. Means this number is for reading and writing. So there are total 8 copies of the replicated file, one replicated file, and the values of the read and write are read R4 and write R5. You see the set of A here. Therefore, this condition, read is 4 and write is 5. So now the condition is satisfied. R plus W is 9. It is greater than the replica's replicated copy 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 copies of replicas are there, and read and write will increase the number. So the condition is satisfied, and suppose if there is any write operation is performed on write quorum which is comprising of 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. All these copies get the new version and the new version number. So further any subsequent read operation to read this read quorum uh, of 4 copies as R is equal to 4. So this any read quorum will contains at least one copy of the previous write quorum, so there will be no problem. And the read operation performed using copy number 3 is found to be larger than other copies. This is shown in the figure 9.4b, that is this one. Another example is R is equal to 2 and W is equal to 7. Okay, when the version number of copies belonging to read quorum are seen and the version number of the copy number is 3 is found to be the larger version. So N is equal to 8, R is equal to 4, W is equal to 5. In B, N is equal to 8, 8 replicas are there, R is equal to 2 and W is equal to 7. Okay. The approach we have seen here is a general approach, but still there are several special algorithms which we can derive from that basic algorithm. There's a read any write all protocol, means this is a special case of generalized quorum protocol with where R is equal to 1 and W is equal to 1. Read quorum and write quorum is equal to N. So this protocol is suitable when we have the ratio of when there are large read and write operations. And in this case both R is equal to R is equal to N and W is equal to 1. Then by seeing this only we can say that when read operations are more, we have to choose this protocol. And protocol consensus protocol, this means the size of these both read quorum and write quorum are made equal or nearly equal. Means N is equal to 11, means number of copies are 11. This quorum assignment will be R is equal to 6 and W is equal to 6. Next is consensus with weighted voting. This is nothing but actual quorum. In all these quorum based protocols, all copies of the replicated file are given equal importance, but in general to which copy we got more number of votes or the majority will be considered, and that replicated file will be given access. So the generalized model will be differing here. The number of votes per copy can be adjusted for the performance and reliability reasons. Okay, so we have seen this type of multi-copy update problem, replication transparency, advantages of replication, and the differences between replication and caching. I hope you all have understood this replication topic, file replication. Thank you.